to jungle Morgana. He was telling me about it before this game started. He gave me a call. That was actually the text message I got earlier that made me move my phone. It was Xmithy saying, "Shh, don't tell anyone. I'm gonna jungle Morg. I'm gonna do it." So I guess that information got leaked out a little bit, and they banned it out. GG's AFK. I think GG is the only CLG member who doesn't live in the gaming house. So I was gonna say, well, just go knock on his door or something and tell him to get it together. Oh, there we go. Ori and Kat.
All right, so the 4 bans are going to be Olaf, Morgana, Orianna, and Katarina. So that's actually a significant number of mid lane bans right off the bat. I'm thinking that right now, CLG, they did ban Morgana and Katarina. They want to run a specific mid lane. I almost think that they want to run a Twisted Fate. Morgana can do well against Twisted Fate. Katarina can jump on him really, really quickly and just stop that kiting in its tracks.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see CLG Prime running Twisted Fate yet again, because they did run that in the semifinals match, and it worked out very, very well. If we saw another Vayne Twisted Fate, that would just be brutal.
There we go. I want to see Blitz Draven.
Blitz Draven.
Give it to me. I mean that's probably the most consistent, like, interesting to watch bot lane that we've seen from Muffin Cutie and Afromoot. Just want to make sure everyone knows that the support player is Muffin Cutie down the bot lane. It's not Xmithy. Actually, I like that Homer Simpson emoticon. Anyway, so the second Gigi gets back, he says ready. We're ready. There we go. So once again, Morg, Olaf. I just wrote it down. Morg, Olaf, Orianna, and Katarina. Good stuff. So we are now, of course, going to do an extra 3 bans per team here inside of the client.
You have this. It looks like the first ban. Oh no, FeaR saw it coming.
They saw
it coming. They watched the semifinals match. They are going to ban out Twisted Fate. So who, because Twisted Fate is banned, who is CLG going to be picking in the mid lane?
Yeah, I mean, Muffin Cutie's pretty consistent as a mid lane player. What am I even? Afromoot is pretty good at the mid lane. Sorry, I was reading his name. Anyway, Gigi's pretty good at the mid lane there, and he's been playing Twisted Fate for a long, long time. Maybe you could consider it his main, but you could also see, from CLG's recent games that his Orianna is super strong. But I mean, he does have a lot of fallback champs. Anivia might be one of the, probably the most contested AP mid if it's not banned out, as we have seen a fair amount of Anivia play from Big Fat when his Twisted Fate is banned out. Anyway, Rengar gonna go ahead and ban out that Rengar, which is interesting. I mean, he has been nerfed a couple times, and a lot of the synergy of Rengar sort of comes through something like an Orianna, which was also banned out earlier in chat.
Raven. Nope.
Raven.
Oh man, Evermoon not going to be getting that sweet, sweet cookie of his.
He told me he was playing Heal Ignite Twitch though, so we must hold it. Oh, speaking of which, let me go ahead and block those summoners.
Yeah, just in case he actually is running Heal Ignite Twitch.
I would love that.
I'd be really interested to see that. Obviously, Draven getting banned out right off the bat, and the other there, it's coming back right off the bat. Hear that?
Right off the bat.
It's going away.
You'll never shake that habit ever. I guarantee it.
Never. So because Draven was banned, though, the other sort of star AD carry from Afromoot is Twitch. Oh nope, there goes Twitch.
There goes Twitch. I like that. He did play it today. He did play it today in the first set versus who was the first team they played against? I wasn't the one casting earlier. I think on the second stream. Curse. There we go. He played Twitch and he actually did very, very well for himself. But that Fiddlesticks, I mean, I went back to specifically show Muffin Cutie's play on Fiddlesticks with that just such a strong late game presence with the 3-second fear, able to completely catch out Nijacky's Katarina and really just take that take that late game decisive team fight. You know, they were faced with someone with Baron, and he just completely turned around. So that's a smart ban. But it's interesting because all the bans are targeted at the bot lane, which does mean that, of course, if Smithy was able to pick up that Shen, could be a jungle Shen, could be a Shen maybe that he's going to trade off with Gosuzuna for that top lane. Ezreal Sona is just a classic poke lane, lots of strength there. And I think we've seen some pretty good play here from Lokodoko. Ooh, but the Malphite. I mean, this is a lot of straight up bruisery tanks. The Shen, the Malphite, and in a way the Diana. She's a tankier AP mid who kind of gets in your face and puts the CC down. And one of Ezreal's weaknesses is that he doesn't have that sort of Infinity Edge Phantom Dancer plus, super strong attack range, attack steroid sort of kit. He is more of a spellcaster. And of course, he's seen a big resurgence in play, but against a Malphite, against a Shen, you're going to be facing the Randuin's Omens, the Frozen Hearts, the Sunfire Capes, things like that. When all that is in your face, Doublelift's not necessarily going to be able to get that Trinity Force Bloodthirster, I poke you down build. He's just never going to be able to cut through the tank line with that sort of build, all else even. So I really like those picks. I like the Shen, I like the Malphite, I like the Diana. There's the Zill pick. Likely going to be an AP mid Zill.
Wow.
As Sona's picked it up. I mean, GG Season 1, very well known for his Zillion play. Zillion did, in a way, sort of fall out of favor competitively, but we've seen a little bit of play, not only from CLG, but from European and North American teams, with that Zillion pick finding somewhat of a resurgence. We saw it at Worlds. Moscow 5 played it at Worlds, and TSM also, I think, played it the other day, maybe last week. Anyway, there's the Leona pickup for Muffin Cutie. That's the sort of snowbally pick that you've kind of come to expect from FeaR's bot lane. All that's left is Aphromu's 80 carry. Are they going to go for that Jarvan as we were shouting out earlier on?
Come on, let's do it.
They might be indicating that Gosuzuna doesn't have.
Wait, what? No.
Excuse me? It's probably a placeholder. I think they're not trying. I think it's just a placeholder. Gosuzuna maybe doesn't have Misfortune or Leona and is going to lock in Brand to trade later. Let me check if we're getting a message from the admins there. Placeholder? Question mark. If they play Leona Brand, I bow down to thee. That would be awesome. And of course we see that hotshot Nidalee GG. They're going to kick his brother in the rear end this game here in this the first game of the finals set between FeaR and CLG Prime.
So see, it looks like that was going to be a placeholder. Find out. Obviously they were able to communicate it immediately. So they did decide to go with that last pick. Nidalee on hotshot. That's something that I'm assuming that Nidalee is going to be going into the top lane. Typically don't see mid lane Nidalee anymore. Not quite able to match up to a lot of casters.
Unless you're Bishu.
Unless you're Bishu. But besides that, probably going to be seeing him in the top lane. I'm excited to see hotshot back on Nidalee.
Yeah. He's got an interesting playstyle for sure. Anyway, so we'll just breeze through these picks and bans as everything should be locked in.
Yeah, we're just gonna breeze through these. Oh, Elise, gotta make sure that Elise doesn't come through through the fake banning stage. Otherwise, she might get fake picked, and you don't want that in a fake game. That's really powerful.
Too many
her
fakes.
Fake power there. I'll ban all the E champions, man. FeaR knows exactly where it's at. The letter E right now.
I'm afraid to read this out because it could be something incredibly vulgar.
Nope.
No, doesn't look like it.
CLG. Obviously, showing their love of League of Legends by spelling it out in the bans. Obviously, something you don't see a whole lot of love for League of Legends. I mean, who plays that game? So you gotta make sure that it comes out in the ban stage to show just how much you enjoy.
Nicely done. Nice small talk. I mean, we really don't have anything to talk about. We just went through the picks and bans once over.
I think we do. There's one thing I'd like to point out.
Yep.
And I know I'm probably going to get a whole lot of hate, but Doublelift's mechanics are arguably better than Aphromu's.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree, for sure.
So Aphromoo, part of the reason he's so strong is he has that Draven, he has that Twitch, and he can just go nuts with them because he is so skilled at those couple of champions. And it's really hard to fight them. They're hard champions to fight in the hands of someone that knows what they're doing. But CLG banned both of those out. They're forcing Aphromoo, even though it appears he is going to be playing Misfortune, they're forcing him to play something a little bit more traditional. And I'd say in a traditional fight, Doublelift would generally beat Aphromoo. That being said, don't throw me on the cross just yet. I think that the aggression from Muffin Cutie and Aphromoo can definitely be strong. Muffin Cutie,
well, the thing is, I do want to stop you here because I'm looking at this Twitch chat. Man, it is not pretty. You've opened up the torrents, my friend. I would say that
open the floodgates.
The floodgates are open on both of us now, so I need to save my own skin at the very least. Doublelift, arguably has better sort of mechanics. It really shows in team fights and things. But Aphromoo, I'd say maybe has the better sort of, sort of sense of aggression. Sort of better at grouping up with his team. Sort of gets into that team fight niche a lot faster. You see him sort of, for instance, roam to mid lane and take a turret or something, whereas Doublelift's more about the farming. But I mean, really, anyone who's ever seen Doublelift play, that sort of late game team fight where he's on Vayne and it all comes down to the pixel that tumble heads into, the timing on the flash and things like that. I think it's fair to say Doublelift is probably the mechanically at least the best AD carry in the world. Anyone who's ever watched the stream way back when he used to play Super Meat Boy on stream, it was just like, how is he doing this? Like, what is going on? How does he even know where to jump and all this stuff? Anyway, so there we go. We have taken down the summoner blockers. So nothing really special. For once, this is the first time I've ever seen CLG play a game without a single teleport or a single global ultimate.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Though you still have the split pushing coming out from Nidalee.
That's true.
Hotshot was sort of famed for that AP Nidalee, but he could, if he decides to go AD, he'll still have that split pushing power that they love so much. Big Fat LP, if he's able to land his Chrono Shift just right, it may be enough that Nidalee doesn't have to be there. They can buy enough time to allow Hotshot to just push down those top towers, or bottom towers as the case may be, over and over and over and over again, push them all the way to the inhibitor. So even if FeaR wins the team fight, it could easily be a win for CLG.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm interested to see how it goes. I mean, we've seen, I think it was Zilean Jax that they used to run, with Hotshot on the Jax up top and Zilean as an AP mid. I think if you actually look back to the IEM World Champions last year, CLG got into the finals, I think, using that strategy. And I mean, it's just such a dominant sort of, you get super tanky with Lee Sin and Nidalee, who are known as sort of falling off late game because they don't really have CC or innate tankiness, but you factor in a Zilean ult on top of that, and it's like, oh, so you effectively have, another set of AD carries in a way, because the amount of damage that a Nidalee and a Lee Sin are able to throw down compared to something like a, just a standard Malphite, is just very, very, very heavily in their favor. And that's what that Zilean comp's all about. It sort of offsets the late game weakness of Lee Sin and Nidalee, turns them into super tanks. They're going to res back with an extra 1,500 health. It's a free Guardian Angel. And if Moscow 5 taught you anything, it's that an extra couple Guardian Angels here and there in a team fight really goes a long way. So there we go.
What I really like about it is CLG is very, very mobile, and that means that they're going to have to really focus down on one person, lock that person down, and that means that it's going to be easier to find a target to Chrono Shift.
Yeah.
Because since, Lee Sin's going to be jumping around, he's going to be hard to catch. You're going to have Ezreal, he's going to have his Arcane Shift. They catch him before he's able to use that. And I got the corner bug, so...
I got the corner bug, too.
And that's just fantastic. Okay, so, but you also have Nidalee. She's also very mobile. They can move in and out of the fights really easily. What you can do is you can actually plan it out. You say, okay, Nidalee got out of there just fine. All right, so no, they're still fighting. They say, okay, go ahead on in, I'll be watching you, even though you're low health, I'll throw Chrono Shift on you.
Oh, actually, I just realized, I'm sorry, big, quick train of thought here. Did you see the recent pro player pick, Hotshot's Nidalee? You know, sometimes I just let a teammate die so I can go in and clean it up. They don't have to. They don't have to do that anymore. They have Zillion. It all makes sense now. I like that. Well done, Hotshot. He throws it out there. He gets that sort of, he gets that in your mind, and he just subverts it with Zillion. Brilliant. Best top laner in the world today. There we go.
Alright, so we are going to be getting into the game. We're seeing pretty standard builds coming out from both sides. Fairy Charm going to be built by Muffin Cutie. We also see Xmithy, instead of picking up 2 extra health potions, he got a health potion and a ward. Obviously, they want to make sure that they don't get invaded too hard. Zuna, I believe he did get spotted out by Chowster and Big Fat. Lokodoko is up here as well, probably just going to plop a ward down next to Wraiths unless they decide to go for a full engage. Double lift, guarding the blue buff down here, making sure that Aframu and Muffin Cutie don't move in. Zuna moving out. It looks like I don't know if Chowster and Zuna saw each other yet. They do see each other now. However, Zuna did not see that Hotshot and Lokodoko were there as well. Ping's going down on the blue buff. There are only 3 people from CLG up next to this blue buff. They're just going to plant a ward. Play this safe.
I think Ezreal, because Double Lift down bot lane was able to spot both Aframu and Muffin Cutie, they knew they'd at least just be able to go drop down a ward. And that could, without a doubt, Lee Sin is the stronger jungler, sort of level 1, level 2, level 3, compared to Shen, who is sort of more of that initiator, tank, split pusher sort of thing, whereas Lee Sin's sort of an AD carry in a melee champion. So that ward over there is going to let Chowster maintain a level of aggression. Oh, sorry, not Shen. Talking about Malphite here. Malphite's potential to duel someone in a 1v1, especially someone like Lee Sin who has a lot of early damage, it's really unparalleled. So I think because Xmithy knows this, he's actually not even going to go ahead and head over to that blue to start. He's going to start with that red buff at level 1 to make his way over. Ghost Azuna is going to spot the fact that blue buff hasn't yet been taken. But still, this could be trouble here for Xmithy because Chowster on Lee Sin at level 2 is just way, way stronger than Xmithy with red buff at level 2. And that could be the first level of aggression we see in this game. Chowster's actually going to go ahead and immediately queue over. I don't know if that was the right decision because Xmithy's smart. He knows that Lee Sin's going to go for that sort of thing. Had he maybe waited...
He's kiting around, lands a Sonic Wave onto Xmithy, gonna actually queue in there, and he wants to straight up duel this with blue buff pounding on Xmithy. He's gonna have a lot of trouble. Xmithy though smites it just barely. A little bit of a smite fight there. Xmithy coming out on top. That is a decent bit of wasted time for Chowster. Gonna have to back off. Not necessarily. Oh, in the bot lane we have a ton of aggression. Look at that Aframu picking up first blood now. Double lift. He has been exhausted. And is he going to fall? No. Aframu, he's going to be able to back off to his tower. Aframu doing a ton of aggression. Muffin Cutie, the moment he hit two, started looking for the Zenith Blade. In the meantime, top lane, Xmithy with red buff. There goes the taunt onto Hotshot. GG. There is the Seismic Shard as well, slowing him down. Ignite is out there. Double flash from Zuna and Xmithy to get the Hotshot. GG. Flashed away. And that is going to be Xmithy picking up a kill for himself. FeaR starting this out very, very strong.
Yeah, they have the blue buff. They have 2 kills. They're up about 1,000 gold straight off the bat. That's strong. I mean, it's interesting that Aframu's gone for this Misfortune pick, because it is in many ways quite similar to Draven in the fact that you max it in pure shots and pop it first. Pop it in exchange. You really out-trade someone like an Ezreal, who's more about that poke. No wards down in here, down in this lane brush. So Muffin Cutie looks like he's about to go in. He is level 3 compared to Lokodoko, who's level 2. But Loco's probably going to want to go ahead and put a ward down in that bot brush. They know that they're backing off. What are FeaR's bot lane looking for right here?
Well, right now, Muffin Cutie doesn't really have a vision ward. If Lokodoko decides to plant a ward down into that brush, they're not going to be able to clear it out. They'll help him out a little bit, especially because Muffin Cutie opted to go for the Fairy Charm instead of the boots. If he had boots, it might be a little bit easier. The ward wouldn't hurt him as much. Right now...
Wow, Ghost Azuna has a level advantage. Hotshot's in trouble up top, but he makes it to the brush. Of course, that Nidalee passive just so good at running away from people. Just be able to kite all day.
Yeah, Hotshot's going to be able to heal that up. Yeah, well, Hotshot's going to be able to heal that up. Yeah, Xmithy is in the bot lane. He has not yet been spotted by a ward. Locodoco did finally put a ward down in that bush, but I think he is just going to back despite that double buff. Probably just wants to farm up to 6 before he tries to get too aggressive in his jungle right now. He already saw that Chowster is happy to go and counter jungle. And so if he reveals himself, that could open himself up to counter jungling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really sort of the weakest stage of a Malphite jungle is pre-6. Once you hit 6, once you get that unstoppable force, able to put that ulti down, your ganks become a lot stronger. Until that point, you just have sort of a somewhat weak movement speed debuff. And the problem, it's sort of like Udyr jungle, where the problem is getting in
look
range.
At this. Bottom lane, Muffin Cutie going to land the Zenith Blade and the Sun. There, he blinks away, but he's still going to take a lot of damage there. Oh, in the meantime, mid lane, Chowster had come in for a gank on Mandatory Cloud. Going to be able to pick up the kill there. That is a kill for Chowster. And he is going to be able to get that, what looks like is going to become a Wriggles Lantern much, much sooner. That's going to allow him to counter jungle even harder. In the meantime, bot lane, there's another engage. But it looks like Double Lift coming out on the top of that one. Muffin Cutie running for his life, runs back into the face of Locodoco to say, hey, how's it going, before he finally falls down.
It's interesting, too, because Locodoco, I think, was the one to die early. Wow, such an early dragon here from CLG.
Yeah, Chowster taking a lot of damage from this dragon. Going to safeguard to try and heal himself up. Xmithy is here, and he's not going to have any of it. There's a slow on Locodoco. He is entirely out of mana. And here comes the Stand United from Shen. Locodoco is so very, very dead. There is nowhere to run to. There's a Seismic Shard. Flashes over the wall. Xmithy is going to kill him. And there is Zuna picking up the kill on Locodoco. No problem.
Xmithy actually went behind there to sort of anticipate Locodoco's flash, but it wasn't actually up there after, I think, that first blood earlier on. So anyway, good job from FeaR to really put the pressure down. It's surprising that there was a 2-for-0 exchange after FeaR had already got that first blood, but good job from Double Lift and Loco to know sort of, okay, they have a slight lead, but we can't let that build. We need to poke them down. We need to get that kill back. And they did, but I mean, I guess that Dragon Call is just a little off. Lee Sin, I think at that stage, only had the boots and the longsword that he's currently got, which just isn't enough to do Dragon. Even with the sustain of Sona, she is only level 2. She hasn't got a point in that Song of Celerity, so that was a level 2 heal, but it just wasn't enough. That Dragon does a lot of damage early game until you can get some armor, until you can get some sustain.
Yeah, I think perhaps what they wanted to do is they wanted to try for Dragon before Xmithy hit level 6, because as soon as he does, it's going to become 100% harder for CLG to take Dragon. And so they were it was sort of a last-ditch effort. They knew, it's decently safe. They knew where everyone was, I believe. And so they thought, worth a shot.
Yeah.
Worth a shot. Still a decent bit of time wasted on the part of Double Lift and Chowster. Still not going to put them too far behind. Xmithy does have his ultimate now, and there's the Unstoppable Force on a big fat LP Mandatory Cloud. Going to do a ton of burst damage. There's the Moonfall. He does have Chrono Shift on himself, but I don't know if it will be enough. He got himself decently close to tower. Here comes Chowster to turn this around. He's going to look for the Sonic Wave. No, he's not. Just safeguards over to a minion. Throws a little bit of pressure out, making sure that they don't dive onto Big Fat. And that is going to be Chrono Shift burned. Some nice play from Big Fat LP. Able to keep himself alive just long enough to move back to tower.
Yeah. Looks like the blue buffs are going to be given to the AP mids here. Mandatory Cloud going to go ahead and pick up FeaR's blue buff. And again, keep in mind, Chowster didn't get his blue buff, or it's actually just spawned now, as he did go for that sort of somewhat failed aggression at level 2. Zilean, by the way, very, very mana hungry. He's actually going for that Catalyst build, which is what we used to see people do back in Season 1.
Man, all we need is the Jarvan Leona to really give us a throwback. Double Bruiser. It's going to happen again.
It's going to happen one day.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The Mandatory Cloud pushing up the mid lane. Big Fat's going to be able to get there just in time to pick up the EXP. We see the CS not really in either side's favor right now. Chowster leading Xmithy by a little bit.
Yeah.
But nothing too notable. In the bot lane, 67 to 65, same story, not a whole lot. Though Sona up on 2 CS, that is literally infinity on 4 CS. Or I guess however you want to put that. Mathematically, it's not technically infinity, it's undefined.
Yep.
A little bit of math for you guys right there, because
there we go.
You'll need schooling.
Stay in school, kids. Don't drop out of school in high school to play with freaking Dyrus, or you won't know the difference between infinity and undefined. There we go. It's interesting, by the way. Hotshot's actually fallen behind in CS. Oh, actually, no, sorry. He's actually just caught up. Although Gosuzuna does have a big chunk of CS pushed up there to turret. But what happened, I think, was the early pressure from Xmithy up for Gosuzuna getting that. It wasn't first blood, but it was an early kill on the Hotshot. You know, you'd expect that Nidalee able
Mandatory Cloud in the bot lane, gonna jump on the double lift with the ultimate, forces him. Just Arcane Shift out of there, not a whole lot burnt. Mandatory Cloud wasting a little bit of time in this bot lane. He is he's gonna put him a decent bit behind in EXP. He's only level 7. He's almost level 8, but Big Fat is level 9 right now.
I guess that Zillion passive is just, you know, they've pretty much been in lane the same amount of time, I'd say. And if anything, you know, Diana's put more pressure. Oh,
there's the ultimate from Xmithy missing!
Rough.
Oh, that would have almost certainly been a kill.
Rough.
If that would have landed. So that's going to be down for the next little while. Let's see, about 114 seconds. So that's a little over a minute, about 2 minutes for Xmithy, where he's not going to have that ultimate available, and seeing that Chowster is going to try for Dragon again. It's what I was talking about. As long as unstoppable force is available on Malphite, CLG is going to have a hard time taking Dragon. But with that down, Chowster is going to go ahead and try for it. He's trying to sneak this. He's doing it fairly well. There's a pink ward. He knows that there is nobody there. Yep, in the meantime, mid lane. Wow, Mandatory Cloud putting a lot of damage onto Big Fat. There's the bomb, though. Big Fat flashes and he gets the auto attack. Didn't even have to burn Chrono Shift there. In the meantime, Chowster picking up Dragon. Wow. That was some excellent play from Big Fat, and it looks like both junglers are going to move into the mid lane so that no farm is lost. Xmithy, not too worried because his ultimate is still down. Not going to be able to do a whole lot for the next minute or so.
Yeah. No, that was smart play from CLG. You could see it wasn't just the fact that the Malphite ulti was down, it was the fact that a pink ward was put in lane. Up top, Hotshot's really getting pushed around by Gosuzuna. He has Merc Treads, which is pretty much, you know, you only really buy Merc Treads for the tenacity at this stage. It only provides you 1 extra MR over just having a null magic mantle in your inventory. So I guess Gosuzuna's really putting the pressure down on Nidalee in terms of, you know, just the psychological pressure of saying, I'm going to taunt you, and then Malphite's going to ult you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because it's rare that you see someone like a Nidalee who's all about winning that lane, getting such an early defensive item, which is, you know, 100% defense. So he does have the Doran's Blade. Maybe going to go for a Phage out of that Ruby Crystal.
Oh, Mandatory Cloud jamming on a Big Fat. The Solar Flare misses.
There we go. And this is the sort of a cross-lane aggression that you like to see from FeaR, where, you know, Afromoo will head up, Muffin Cutie will head up, drop some CC down in the mid lane.
Chowster in the top lane, moving through the brushes. Gonna wait for the minions. Going to FeaR, gonna move into the second brush. There is no ward there. Zuna has no idea that Chowster is in the area. Hotshot gonna throw a little bit of harass down Chowster. Oh, Hotshot's gonna bait him back into the bush, and there is the slow and the kick back. Zuna shadow dashes to try and get to safety, flashes onto the minion, gonna reduce the distance of that a little bit, but he's still going to be fine. He does have his Vorpal Blade, so he's gonna be able to heal up a decent amount.
Afromoo with red buff down in the bot lane, by the way. Gosuzuna feeling confident enough to stick around, but he needs to be careful because the damage, you know, Nidalee and Lee Sin both have takedown-based abilities, which will deal extra damage the lower health you are. And Zuna's sitting around 33% right now. This could spell trouble for them. He does, of course, have his Shen-ult. If he ults to Malphite, that could be a nice turnaround gank here.
Yeah, right now, Chowster trying to put some pressure down. Similar to what we were seeing before, Zuna actually getting the worst of this fight between himself and Hotshot. Xmithy being forced out as well. Mandatory Cloud missing the Q. And now Xmithy taking a lot of damage. Bomb is on him, forced to burn the unstoppable force to get away. And wow, Zuna falling dangerously low as well. Almost died to the bomb.
That was close.
Trying to save Malphite. That would have been pretty bad. In the meantime, bot lane we have a lot of aggression. Afromoo getting exhausted and being forced away. Muffin Cutie forced to flash away. Double Whip flashing in as well. Able to pick up the kill on Muffin Cutie. There is the bullet time from Afromoo, trying to throw a little bit of harass on Double It, but he is going to dive, no problem. Ignite is burning, but it's not going to be enough to finish him off. And now, in the meantime, top lane, Mandatory Cloud getting ulted by Zillion. Mandatory Cloud jumps back over to his tower to try and save his own life. Chowster is there to shield Hotshot as well. Just so much defense, so much peel for each other. I'm really impressed not only do they have not only do they have mobility, but they have peel for each other. If one person is in trouble, they can just shift around and save each other. It's amazing. Big Fat LP, he has that time warp, gonna give them extra movement speed and save them and get them out of weird positions. Chouster has that reposition, has the slow. They peel for each other, and they defend each other, and it's so much fun to watch. And this is the sort of team comp that takes an amazingly coordinated team to pull off.
Yeah. By the way, Loco Doco, we talked at the start. I don't know if you got in on the Loco bashing, but I definitely said that he's sort of been underperforming on the Alistair and the Nunu, but he's quite good on Lulu and Sona. You can see that was pretty much exactly what you want to see out of your support Sona in terms of just the chords you use, the abilities you cast at which times, able to get the slow chord down twice in that fight. First at the sort of onset of it, and then again to secure that kill on the Muffin Cutie, and then actually switching over to the aura of
headshot. Okay, he did get it. That was their own blue. Okay, so that was purposeful. I'm sorry. I'm just like, oh, he stole the blue. No. I'm just silly.
You pulled the jaws.
To pick it up. Oh man.
Both junglers simultaneously running through their enemy jungle. Wow. Anyway.
Now, what this means, I'm making all the same mistakes as the big casters, which means I am very pro. Which means I am excellent. I'm
Riot, hire this man.
Making the right mistakes. So we actually see Big Fat LP up in the top lane, pushing this to no end. I like this. He can use Time Warp to go ahead and get over to a fight very quickly in case something goes wrong, and his pushing power is incredible. Now, Hotshot GG catching up Mandatory Cloud. Red buff has been applied, and I think he's just going to continue to chase him down. Flash is not available. Wow, the harass is massive, but no, he's going to be able to make it. He's going to be able to make it over to his tower, even though he got chunked down to half health. Now, Smithy might be looking for an ultimate onto double lift, but he gets chunked down massively. Throws out the ultimate, trying to save himself with the resonating strike from Chouster, and the Dragon Kick going to be able to finish him off. And now Muffin Cutie getting chunked down as well. Red buff and double lift going to allow him to pick up that kill. This tower is very low. Are they going to try and dive down onto it? No, Aframu going to wisely back off of this one. CLG playing this superbly right now.
Yeah, and that's the second time in a row that we've seen a long-range Exocet missile Lee Sin kick. And it's, the first time it was sort of, I think this time around Smithy was trying to do the same thing St. Vicious did to him. But this time it actually went sort of in Chouster's favor as he was able to secure that kill. Oh,
from around behind Aframu, red buff is applied, and that is going to be one dead Misfortune. Who gets the kill? They're going to give it to double lift.
There we go. Good stuff from CLG. Lots of aggression. Goes to Zuna. You don't usually expect that Zillion beats out on your bruiser.
Oh, that lane, jumping onto double lift. Double lift is out of mana, not really going to be able to do a whole lot there though. Xmithy too far away. Mandatory Cloud.
GG put a ping down on Shen saying as ult, but it had actually gone down onto the bot lane. Mandatory Cloud, who is also similarly low. But at any rate, this is going to be the second dragon for CLG, really taking just a very strong lead here. As Muffin Cutie has sort of fallen behind. He's 0-3, only has that Heart of Gold built up. No Philostone and no other items, GP5 or otherwise, whereas, look at that, already got a Shirelia's, a Heart of Gold, and Boots 1 on that Sona. 6 kills up, 6,500 gold, give or take a little bit. And really, not only that, but it's the map presence. They're 2 turrets up. They've taken all 3 inner turrets out here. And that's exactly where you want to be when you have a Nidalee. Nidalee did sort of fall behind Shen, was losing those 1v1s, was having a bit of a hard time earlier on. But now that these outer turrets are gone, Hotshot's going to have a much easier time of just laying down those traps, putting down a couple wards, and just split pushing.
So right now we see Zuna building Ninja Tabby and Sunfire Cape. It's going to be sort of hard. Oh wow, they really are going for it in the top lane. I thought they were just fighting a little bit, but this is very close. Ignite now being burnt on Hotshot. He had already burnt his Ignite. Now he is going to run away. There's a flash and Shadow Dash in. Will it be enough for the execute? There's the heal. Laying down a trap to lay down just a little bit more damage, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Pounces away. In the meantime, in the mid lane, there is a fight going on, and that is actually Scumbag. Doko picking up the kill. Yeah, here's Chouster going to land the Sonic Wave and the Resonating Strike. Big Fat LP is here as well. Throws down a bomb. Are they going to just let Big Fat have it? No, Chouster going to kick him in the face for that last hit and the kill.
There we go. We did miss that kill down on Xmithy. Xmithy actually died without ulting. Did you see who picked up the kill there? I was watching that exchange.
Yep,
oh, top lane, Leona.
Getting jumped on the mandatory cloud, and that is going to be a quick kill. Now Chaucer landing the Sonic Wave and the Resonating Strike, going to go in for a bit. Muffin Cutie is here for the defense. Lokodoko is decent distance behind, but here's Big Fat throwing down the bombs. The burst is massive now. Mandatory Cloud trying to do what he can to Big Fat. Still not quite the damage that he was looking for. Now that
it's interesting they backed out, though, because GG still had his ulti up. I wonder if they're maybe saving this for something. I mean, I think it's something like a 30-second cooldown ulti at level 16 if you can get that. If you have the mana, if you have the blue buff to spam your rewind, which you do usually max second after time bomb. The rewind, the cooldown itself, the base cooldown is 150. Oh, sorry, that's the mana cost. Is 126 seconds, even though he's got all that CDR built up. But just by spamming rewind on cooldown, you get it down to like 20, 30, 40 seconds, depending on the amount of CDR you have. So, I mean, it's like they hesitated so that they wouldn't have to use that Zillion ulti, but really, you know, it would be up by now.
Yeah, perhaps they should be a little bit more liberal with it. Hotshot GG going to pick up red buff for himself. Aframu's red buff going to be timing out in just a little bit here. He's spent so much time in the bot lane trying to catch up to the farm of Doublelift, but Doublelift is still leading him in CS by about 30.
There we go. And
there we go.
Oh,
Mandatory Cloud jumping on the Big Fat LP. In the meantime, in the top lane, there's a Shadow Dash to lock him down. Moonfall, and here is the Stand United from Shen. Mandatory Cloud going to finish off Big Fat before he can even ult. Though Hotshot lane had a lot of damage onto Mandatory Cloud. Throws out the shield, trying to save himself, and the Q not going to be enough damage. Now Hotshot with red and blue buff under his belt, going to run off here. Nothing Zuna can do. Lokodoko is here as well in case they want to get aggressive. Red buff is applied. Lokodoko going to heal up Hotshot. And going to reveal himself, so not going to be able to get too aggressive. Chauster, in the meantime, in the mid lane with a massive minion wave. Is Aframu going to be able to stop this? Chauster safeguarding in. There is the slow out as well. Doublelift is a little bit far behind. Aframu flashes away. Doesn't want to be, doesn't want to be the target of that. Doublelift just going to tank this tower and finish off the middle. In the meantime, in the top lane,
wow, they actually
managed to take down Hotshot, who was split pushing all the way up there. But because the focus was up there, that allowed the middle inner tower to be taken down, and I think that is definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's interesting that GG didn't use his ulti. He was too busy, I guess, just running away from the danger. Couldn't just hit that quick Alt-R and get the ulti down on himself to save it. Or maybe he thought that he wouldn't die, and maybe he thought that saving it to put it down on Hotshot was the better decision. At rate, Hotshot did end up dying a little bit later, I guess due to the Malphite ult, which is on cooldown for another 60 seconds. We'll see if they want to make anything out of this. Dragon is up in a minute and a half, so really that Malphite ult will be up for the next Dragon. About a minute 30.
The Big Fat LP moving around here. He has a ward. Xmithy was spotted, and looks like they may try to engage on the Zenith Blade. Misses Big Fat, and I think that's the engagement that they wanted, so they're going to back off from that one. Chaucer down to half health right now. The pings go down. Everyone being caught out by a ward. Doublelift is moving in. I'm not certain what they want to try to do. I think right now FeaR just wants to retreat and buy before they really try to do anything. Doublelift stealing the big Wraith with his Q. And I think they're going to try to counter push this. There is a little bit of gold in the pocket of FeaR right now. The Big Fat hasn't gone back to buy for a little while now. You definitely go back and get something.
Probably wants that needlessly large drop. 69 gold, so he's about 100 gold away.
Hotshot in the meantime pushing down this top lane. Hotshot and Zuna getting in a bit of a duel here yet again, but here's Doublelift for the support. Ignite goes on to Zuna. There is the Phage proc, and that will allow Hotshot to pick up the kill, no problem. However, Muffin Cutie finding himself in the tight spot. Zenith blading over. There's a flash over from Big Fat LP, and Chaucer picking up that one now. Xmithy using the unstoppable force to try and run away, but Chaucer still finishes him off. Double kill for Chaucer, and now they are going to take the inner tower of the top lane. Our pings are actually going down on Baron. I think they're going to go for it. It's another 20 seconds before Zuna respawns. Doublelift's going to go ahead and miss the Q to start it off. But they are indeed going to be going for it. Aframu and Mandatory Cloud are aware of this. I don't think they want to let them. This could just be a bait. They're right around the corner. There's
3,000 health
on top of them. Yeah, are they going to be able to stop them? Mandatory Cloud in a tight spot. He gets completely bursted down. There's ultimate from Aframu. Not going to do nearly enough, though. Now Mandatory Cloud in a fair bit of trouble. Doublelift going to be able to pick up the kill now. Zuna using the Stand United to get in there. Lokodoko over the wall. Just barely alive. Now Aframu going to get chunked down. Doublelift getting that one. Now Zuna trying to chase down Doublelift, but he's not going to be able to. Hotshot getting that one, and now they're going to refocus on Baron. They are so low. No.
Definitely not the right call. Malphite and Leona right there.
Push and catch Muffin Cutie, who was trying to stop the Zenith Blade over the double lift. There's the Solar Flare as well, but it's not going to matter. Hotshot picking up yet another kill for himself. Here comes Xmithy. His Unstoppable Force has just now come off of cooldown, and he may be able to pick up a couple of kills here if he goes in there. There is the Time Warp, and there it is onto Locodoku, who's trying to burst him down with nice exhaust, going to reduce the damage massively. Now Xmithy going to get chunked down. Hotshot, yet another kill for himself.
This time
comes out from
FeaR. Oh, wow.
FeaR just says, no, we threw this too hard. And they are going to give CLG this first game in this best-of-3 series.
Man, that was a prolonged Baron fight, and I think it really did sap what remaining sort of will they had left in them. Sort of reminiscent of that. Actually, I think when Moscow 5 had that sort of infamous long Baron fight, it was also with a Zilean, but that's the power of Zilean. These long exchanges. You burst down someone like a Nidalee, and then all of a sudden they're just res back up again. So guys, I will be quickly blacking out the stream, muting it. My sensitivity on my mouse needs to be changed. I think it was changed in a recent patch. That should fix some of these camera issues. Are we going into the next game?
We're going to be going into the next game in just a moment.
Invites coming.